The 7 tips. All right, all right. A lot of people want to know how the fuck to play the game. All right, that's fine. This is a new video that WoW just put out, and we're going to take a look at it and see what it's about. 7 tips for returning players in Dragonflight. Here we go, gentlemen.
Today we are talking World of Warcraft Dragonflight, and we are talking you returning to WoW to play Dragonflight.
Imagine
and everything
that.
you need to know to make that happen. Because look, I don't want to make a big deal out of it or anything, okay? But we all noticed you haven't logged in for a while, and that's fair.
Yeah, that's just about fucking right.
Fair enough, you know,
It's
life
been gone
happens,
since Legion.
apparently, for other people. I hear that's definitely a thing. But I know you, Internet. I know you've seen those glorious Dragon Isle zones and Tuskar and shiny new UI and talent trees and Tuskar with little hats and majestic dragon-filled skies and proper old-school fantasy vibes and Tuskar but with like glasses on and in-depth new profession and crafting
those are the
systems
new
and
profession
Tuskar
things.
making
Holy
a tasty
shit.
soup. And I know that little WoW tingle has been flaring up again. And Internet, I understand. Because there is a ton of exciting new features in Dragonflight, both long-awaited and unexpected. And we are going to tell you all about them today. So
What
that
are
when
they?
you take your first steps, or flaps, I guess, into the new game, you can pretend that you knew about them all along. And that's okay. We will keep your secrets. No one need
Let's
ever
see it.
know. So join us for our 7 top tips for returning players in World of Warcraft Dragonflight. Okay? Go, 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 go.
Number 1, preparing your character. I don't know why they have to look like this. I don't understand it. Why did they have to look like this? This is not necessary.
Damn.
They're not human. It's just,
Damn.
I mean, look, they don't have to.
Okay, first things first, let's get your character sorted and ready to go by looking at some of the core new features of Dragonflight. And of course, the return of an old friend, talent trees.
I think the
allowing
talent
you to
trees are great.
customize your
I'm very
abilities and
positive
talents
about the
more
talent
than ever
trees.
before, for every situation imaginable, anytime you want. And that's all well and good. I don't think I need to sell you on how fun talent trees are, but the thing I really like about these is how easy they are to use. Individual builds can be saved, named, and imported or exported, meaning that you can drop that DPS Holy Priest build, or pure auto-attack Fury Warrior build, or...
I tried this. By the way, guys, I wanted to build a Fury Warrior that could do a lot of DPS by auto-attacking. I capped out at about 4,000 DPS, and 1,000 of that DPS was my trinket. So, the auto-attack build doesn't work, guys. I tried it. It doesn't work.
And I kid you not, the no Moonkin form Balance Druid build right there in your guild Discord, and they can see that you were right all along. It can be done,
Okay.
and I did it. Who's laughing now, eh? Also,
People that
does
have
anyone know
damage
of any
meters.
guild currently recruiting? Because I'm suddenly available. There has also
Yeah.
been a massive UI customization overhaul, giving you complete control over how your WoW gaming experience looks. With
I think this was way overdue. Like, I don't use all of the new UI features, but I think the UI getting changed and being modified absolutely improves it.
nearly every element of the shiny new interface adjustable to your tastes, no matter how bad your taste is. And if you think all that looks a bit hard to navigate, well, don't forget the search function, which seriously, like, yes, thank you. Also savable and shareable as individual character profiles or across your
I love watching, like, some of the combat in the game. What the fuck is going on? Like, it really, like, what the fuck is this? Like, everything is just, it's absolute chaos, yeah.
entire account. I'm also a big fan of some of the new accessibility options,
I
like
think that's
the
good.
new Interact key, which when enabled allows you to automatically interact with objects and NPCs just by facing them and using a designated key press instead of mouse buttons.
Wait, you can use the interact button with fishing? Bro, that's like cheating or something. That's big for bots. Yeah, that's so good. Oh my god. So you don't even need to click on it. So you can fish with your eyes closed. That's amazing. Check tags are fixed. Okay.
Targeting, which automatically selects enemies as you approach them, and press and hold
Nope, not
casting,
fixed.
so
Not
that you
fixed for
can
me.
spam said enemy with all the smites you...
What?
Your tags.
It's a good one, guys. Good one. Really, really fucking funny, guys. Absolutely fucking hilarious.
That's a new button they can press.
Damn. Good. Great. Yeah, I'm so glad. Yeah, let's get some hearts in the chat for the mods. We're really putting in work today.
You've got without ever having to take your finger off the smite button. All things considered, you might find that WoW is just a whole lot easier to play than you remember it. And so now you've created your new evoker and got it all set up. Let's play some WoW. Oh, wait, you did create your new Drakthir evoker, didn't you?
I haven't done this.
Okay, fine, off you go. There's only like 15 centillion customization options. You get on with that, and in the meantime, we'll talk about...
Dragon Isles tips. Okay, all right, number one, what is it?
Ooh, yeah, let's play some WoW. And we're at the good stuff now, fam. Launch day. Dragonflight brings us a whole new continent to explore, the Dragon Isles. Make sure you click on the crow's nest. Brings us a whole new continent to explore, the Dragon...
I love how, remember the meme of like WoW after, like, I think it was like Northrend, after Wrath, where it's like WoW 10 years in the future, and it's just a bunch of random fucking islands that they just put there? And now... that's literally what we're getting.
Dragon Isles. Make sure you click on the crow's nest option that appears on the boat ride over for a proper good cinematic eyeful as you arrive.
Wow.
And in my opinion, this new continent is an absolute banger. After a couple of years hopping around different planes of existence in Shadowlands, the Dragon Isles feels like a return, not just to Azeroth, but to the kind of classical fantasy aesthetic and feels that will envelop many a returning player like a big, warm, snuggly blanket. But, you know, a spiky blanket with massive shoulder pads, because it is still WoW after all. And my top tip here is don't forget to explore, because it's easy to look at...
Well, we don't need to explore. We just download the add-on from somebody that already explored in the beta, and then they tell us where all the things that we need to explore are at, and so we just go to the thing and we explore those areas systematically, and we complete the achievement and never go there again.
Huge
it's
zones,
easy.
which you can zoom about via the new dragon riding feature, more on that later, and assume that you won't need to go searching in every little nook and cranny of the Isles like you might in past expansions, where you had to spend the first patch or two on foot, but that is not the case at all. And Blizz tries to make that obvious to the...
I will say, the scenery looks nice. It is absolutely an improvement from Shadowlands.
Player, I think, in the whole vibe of the expansion, which is like, yeah, this is an expedition of discovery. Your main buddies are the Explorers League and the Relinquery, and the whole world is just so beautifully realized and detailed and alive feeling that what I found on beta is that far from making me skip stuff, the ease and entertainment that dragon riding brings to travel in Dragonflight actually really encouraged me to look around and explore much more than I have done in previous expansions. I think many of you will understand what I'm trying to say if I tell you that the vibes and design philosophy of these zones reminds me a lot of Grizzly Hills, in that there's this sense of place where people live and go about their business that you can just be witness to with some incredible...
Yeah, I think having an open, living, breathing world is really important. Like NPCs that walk around, it doesn't look like they were... you know, systematically placed in different locations in order for them to be convenient for the player to interact with. I think that's absolutely a good thing. And it's something that I noticed whenever I was playing, what game was it? New World doesn't really have this as much, but with Brimstone Sands, it's a little bit better. Is like having NPCs that are walking around and it feels like an actual city. It's very Northrend-ish. Yeah, that's what it seems like to me too. CZMA, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you.
Sound design and skyboxes and just spaces to exist in. I don't want to be a dweeb here, okay, but it really is bringing the world back into World of Warcraft.
That's clever. I will also say that I hope that the phasing makes it to where we can see more people that are out in the world. Because one thing that's kind of depressing is that whenever you're going out and you're doing a world quest or something like this and you never see anybody, I think that it's better for the world to be overcrowded than undercrowded. Because at least at that point, it feels like you're playing and interacting with other people. Reggie, thanks for 5 subs.
So my advice is that whatever you are doing in the Isles, be open to changing course. If you see an interesting looking cave, check it out. If you notice a couple of NPCs walking along the road chatting, go and listen in. If you're doing an outrageously enjoyable dragon race or time trial and the course takes you through an area you're not familiar with, go back and check it out after you've completely, mercilessly destroyed your fellow racers with your Chad dragon riding skills and left them eating your dust. Your air. I guess they'll be eating your air, but yeah. Because in my experience on the beta, Dragonflight really seems to reward players who take a moment to look around and take it in. From little hidden quests...
That's good. I hope that's something that they learned kind of from Elden Ring, is that, like, with Elden Ring, you can randomly look around and find something that's, like, massively helpful or, like, super useful. And like, you can accidentally unlock a door, and the door is, like, a huge dungeon that you didn't even know existed before. So, yeah, I hope that they continue doing more stuff like that.
And character moments and environmental storytelling dotted around. It's felt like coming home for me, and I haven't even been anywhere.
Encounter new dungeons.
There are 8 new dungeons going live with the launch of Dragonflight, as we've come to expect, which thematically tend to tie up storylines which we start and play through in the leveling campaign.
That would make sense.
From a game structure point of view, these are a really good way of getting your characters geared up to a certain level early on, and of course the real fun comes when they open up as Mythic Plus dungeons in Season 1. But I wanted to take this section just to highlight a couple of my favourite little moments, like the Magical Academy Algathar, where players get to take part in a giant game of Lish Laroth, or Talon Toss. Ooh, a ball-throwing game in a magical academy? That is an
basketball?
incredible idea. Guys, I think that's got some real potential. Or my personal favourite, the Knockhood Offensive, which is an instanced version of the entire Onaran Plains zone, and where you and your dungeon team get from boss to boss via your dragon-riding drakes.
That's fucking badass. Like, using the dragon... Like, I'm gonna be real. If this expansion doesn't end with us in aerial combat against Galakrond using the dragon riding abilities while we're fighting him, I don't know what all this has been for.
Dungeon is considerably easier to traverse
Oculus
with
done
a fully
right,
leveled
yeah.
up Drake. More on that later. And if you
1,
really
1, 2,
don't
3,
fancy
guys.
it even then, don't forget you can use the new ride along feature to turn into a little whelp and auto follow a party member who is comfortable taking the reins. And you can just focus on all the boss killing good stuff. I love this dungeon. It feels great to be swooping around freely with your homies, and I hope they take this further and have full-on freeform dragon riding boss fights in future dungeons and raids.
Smart idea. That's a great idea. You know what else I think they should do is they should just make dragon riding in the entire game. Like, I'm going to be real. Blizzard, if you're watching this, please listen. Nobody is going to stop using the baseline flying mounts to only do dragon riding, because they can't tab out and go watch a YouTube video while they're moving from point A to point B on the dragon riding mounts, because it's an active thing. The reason why people use flight paths and the reason why flying can sometimes be good is you can fly up in the air and then fly to one area, and you don't have to, like, fucking maintain this. You can just put over there and you don't think about it. Arsenal, thanks to the 10 subs. So yes, I 100 fucking % think that they should add dragon riding everywhere in the game. No reason not to. Misspelled porn instead of YouTube.
In many ways, Dragonflight
There's porn
feels
on
like a
YouTube.
return to the core principles of WoW, and that could also be said for the end game, which feels like a wiping of the slate after what we're going to call the AP era of WoW. So a lot of things that we started to consider progression staples in recent times are...
Yeah, like Legion, BFA, and Shadowlands were designed under the principle of, like, we're going to add 7 new systems. They're all broken. And hopefully they will counterbalance each other. They won't, but hopefully they will.
Gone. Like mission tables? What mission tables? An infinite currency...
I have nothing wrong. Like, I think mission tables in Shadowlands were totally fine. People that get mad about mission tables in Shadowlands are just crying bitches. There was nothing that you had to do with them. They had no effect on the rest of the game. If you didn't want to engage with them, you never had to. It didn't matter. It's about the mandatory content that sucks. Not the optional stuff. Like, who cares? That's all fine.
grind connected to your core player that you have to make sure to keep up with week to week throughout the expansion forever? Nope, completely gone. And that's a big deal, because when there is no AP grind and your character's power basically just comes from the gear that they collect from dungeons and raids, and don't forget, fully functional tier sets are back from the very first raid in Dragonflight, and crafting and PvP and the world, that means there's room at endgame for a much more optional journey. And Dragonflight fills that gap with the renown paths of the 4 main factions of the Isles, and a couple of other smaller scale reps on the side for good measure. Renown is basically a...
So this is Dragon Isle Summary, Dragon Scale Expedition, Centaurs, Iskara Centaur, Fall Draken. Okay, this is cool.
Remodeling of faction reputation,
but
with lots more rewards at much more frequent intervals. And because there's no AP equivalent, all those rewards are cosmetic or just unconnected to player power. So in the
I showed this like a couple of days ago. I showed this on a video, and people were just like freaking out. They're like, "Oh my God, that's a battle pass! Oh my God, they're adding battle pass to World of Warcraft! Oh my God, it's gonna go free to play and pay to win! I can't believe it!" And they were just getting so upset. All of these things are completely fucking cosmetic. They don't matter at all. Captain, thanks for 5 subs. Appreciate it.
Making shores, you unlock exploring transmogs and rock climbing mini-games and Drake customizations and new quest lines and portals around the Isles and toys and pets and titles and stuff like that. Tuskar in the Azure Span have backpack transmogs to unlock, new fishing holes and mini-games to access across the continent, as well as their own extra quests and recipes and pets. You get the idea. Cool stuff to have and fun to collect, but nothing that any player needs to stay up to date with raiding or whatever. And the fact that you are constantly popping new ranks and rewards from the 4 factions is actually a surprisingly good motivator and makes...
Yeah, because it feels good. It feels like you're always making progress in the game. It's like you're doing something. Everything you do in the game gives you some sort of progress with one of these reputations. And like, I remember Lost Ark had this. It was really good. That like, if you did any one of these like different like Una's tasks, which are like the daily quests in that game, like any of them was like working towards a reputation. It's like almost any activity you took part in was beneficial in one way or another.
World and side quests feel really worthwhile. There's also the Black Dragon reputation, where you choose who you want to back as new leader of the flight between Twink Rathian and Daddy Sibelian for even more cool cosmetics, including the Black Dragon scale customization for your Drake.
That's cool.
Actually, that is kind of mandatory, really, now I think about it. Like, who doesn't want the Black Dragon scale unlock? And another major form of endgame progression is, of course, the new professions system, which I'm not going to get into tons of detail about now.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how big this is going to be.
But with so many different areas to specialize in, and the new work order system where you basically pick up other player commissions to fill and improve your skills, it's another optional.
Which I think that's so good, because like whenever you were crafting for your profession and you're just recrafting the same piece of gear over and over and over again, I think that's super boring.
Incredibly rewarding and potentially very lucrative way to spend your endgame days. There's even a unique transmog set available for open world PvP kills in war mode, if you like.
Wow.
Dragonflight is very much the optional grind expansion in this first patch, and that's a big philosophy change that might take a while for some players to get used to, but I think it's a good one. Done really well, and I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with it.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm actually curious to see what that's going to look like. Yeah, time to kill.
If you haven't played WoW for a moment, there are some big quality of life improvements that might be new to you. Like, you know, you can group with players on the opposing faction now, right? Horde and Alliance, running dungeons and raids together, if the group leader has enabled it. Mass hysteria. There's also the Inspiration Catalyst, which allows players to turn standard, non-tier items of raid gear, dungeon gear, PvP gear, and certain open world gear into tier set pieces, meaning that players can work towards unlocking their tier set and bonuses no matter what content they prefer, and which I
think this was a really good addition to Shadowlands. Like, whenever they added this in Zereth Mortis, I thought it was a great idea. And it's like, this is the way the game used to be. Like, there were a lot of ways that you could get tier gear back in the day. It's not like you had to do raiding. Like, there was, like, you could farm Valor to buy some of the pieces, you could farm other resources to get them, etc., like, or do PvP. This is awesome. I hope they make it available on, like, week 1, though. I don't want to see them, like, hold it off for, like, 6 weeks, and then people that don't get the set that they want already lose interest in the game because they get unlucky.
works as quite nice bad luck
6
protection
weeks,
for
yeah,
raiders
like,
like me
like, I
too,
think it
but
should
the
be
big
like
feature that
2
will be
weeks.
new to everyone,
Most.
and which we've touched on already today, is dragon riding, the new momentum-based flying mechanic which will be your main way of traversing the Dragon Isles. Dragon riding takes a minute to master and has a talent tree that needs to be unlocked by collecting dragon riding glyphs from all around the map to reach its true potential. But
That's
all
cool.
glyphs are there, waiting to be picked up at the very start of the expansion, meaning that
Oh, shit. Okay, so you have to get these to make your character fly around faster. That's actually cool.
you can go and collect them all the moment you pick up your first Drake, just a few minutes into the opening questing. It's almost 3 times faster than normal WoW flying. It's like a million times more fun in my opinion, and enhances every other aspect of the game with its mere presence. Drakes are customizable to an absurd degree, with some complete transformations that drop from certain bosses and achievements, and which will
That's the gladiator one. You see that one? That's what we're gonna get right there. Like, I'm gonna get this one, and I'm gonna make it like black with like red fucking fire. It's gonna look so fucking badass, man. Oh my god, I'm excited about this.
undoubtedly
Wicked
continue
true.
throughout the expansion. But the best thing of all your dragon riding progress, from your drakes to their customization unlocks to the glyphs you've collected to upgrade them, are completely account wide.
Thank fucking god. Oh my god. Oh wow, that is so good. Imagine it's account wide and it doesn't take until 10.35 for it to be account wide. It's like, oh my god. This is all we need to do, is just have more content in the game that is account wide. It's so important to have that.
Because
Finally, they're
Dragonflight is
listening.
also objectively
Yes.
the most alt-friendly expansion in World of Warcraft history. So there's
I think it's hard to beat WoD. WoD was super alt-friendly, but if it's even remotely close to that, I'll be happy. Because like back in Wrath, for example, like if you got your character up to max level, you just raided. That's it. That's all you had to do. WoD leveling was fast? No, I'm not saying that, like, obviously, I'm not saying WoD was good. I'm saying that WoD was easy to play alts in. That's all I'm saying.
renown rewards that we saw in the last section, all of them, apart from like supply crates, are account-wide unlocks. So all that transmog, but also mini-game unlocks and fishing hole unlocks and everything else, it's all account-wide. And
Thank fucking God. Like, that is one of the best things about playing, like, Final Fantasy, Lost Ark, or, like, any of these other games, is, like, nearly every single one of these other games has account-wide progress. Are reputations account-wide as well? I don't think they are. I think the unlocks from the reputations are account-wide, so, like, yes and no, but I'm not sure.
I've got to tell you, it feels pretty good to step off the boat on an alt, and before you've even picked up a quest, mounting up onto a fully leveled dragon riding drake and zooming all over the map, doing world quests and picking up treasures that you've unlocked on your main. Top stuff. And you know, at last.
Jump into Season 1. When does this even come out?
A couple of weeks into the expansion, as usual, comes Season 1, with the opening of the Vault of Incarnates raid, but a new structure to a lot else, like the 8-dungeon Mythic Plus pool.
So what are the dungeons going to be? We're going to get Halls of Valor, Court of Stars, Shadow Moon Burial Grounds, fuck that dungeon, Temple of the Jade Serpent. Is Temple of the Jade Serpent the same as it was? Because, like, that shit used to be easy. That was like, there were like no mechanics at all in that Why Burial Grounds? I don't think it was that bad. It was just the that worm boss was really annoying. All the other ones were pretty much okay. It's been changed? Okay.
Featuring 4 Dragonflight dungeons
Halls of
and
Valor,
4 dungeons
I'm
from
excited about
returning
Court of Stars.
expansions, meaning that Season 2 will have a complete 100% different dungeon and loot table lineup to its predecessor. A really good change in my opinion that I'm looking forward to seeing play out. Different dungeon.
I'm very glad to see that too. The reason why is that I feel like it's just so boring whenever you're playing a new patch, and like the new patch is like, okay, well, you're gonna do the same thing, you're gonna farm the same item that you did last patch, but it's got a higher item level now for Mythic Plus. So like changing up the dungeon pool actually makes it much more unique.
Every Mythic Plus season is awesome. For PvPers, there's new solo queue arena, including ranked
I might try
mode,
that.
which, look, you asked for
raw?
it, fam, okay? Don't blame me. This is something you said you all wanted. And even the raid is the first in modern WoW to release all difficulty modes at the same time. Something that will
Normal,
definitely
heroic,
have an
and
interesting
mythic.
impact on the Race to World First. But much more important than that, the Race to World First for guilds with a name a bit like Immortalis. The true race that all the cool kids love. Started by my guild called, and this might not be a massive surprise to you, Immortalis, specifically to create a competition that we might actually win, but which we don't often win. Curse you, other Immortalis.
Wait, so they had a guild? They have a guild competition for all of the guilds that are named Immortalis, and they still lost. God damn, that sucks.
And especially you, a bit like Immortalis. You guys suck.
Yep. Don't forget return tax. Wait, tax?
Oh yeah, one last thing. If you are returning to the game for Dragonflight, then that's great. I think you're going to really enjoy it. But don't forget the return tax. A new rule that Blizzard, invented very recently, where no loot will drop for you if you don't send 10,000 gold weekly to Mavamwi on Argent Dawn EU. That's MYF.
They let him upload this shit onto the official channel, by the way. They literally let him upload himself begging for... Imagine begging for gold and getting it uploaded to the official fucking... Oh my god.
Okay, that's enough, Tally.
Who would
There's
do
no
that?
return tax, don't worry. Thanks for joining us for the video today, and if you are returning to the game
Who
for
would do that?
Dragonflight, then I hope it was useful and that we see you soon. I'll be in the Azure Span hanging out with the Tuskar.
I already did all the Tuskar jokes.
From me, Evitel, and Taliesin, until next time, cheerio.
That's nice. It was a nice video. I think it was really well done. They talked about a number of the important things, and, you know, like, I'd say this is relatively accurate. Yeah, what did you guys think? Did you guys like it? Yeah, it was very good. Yeah, I think it was actually very well done. What's this here? When do I get the Feldrake? In like an hour and a half or some shit. Like, I think that's what it is. Yeah, it was really, really good, man. That could have been me asking for gold? Yeah, I know. Like, that's the thing is, I should have been doing this for a while. Like, yeah, I should have them, like, let me make a video where I beg for gold, too. This is a good idea. Bring Second Legion. If the expansion is as good as Legion is, or as Legion was, I would be very, very happy.